Today we got the most annoying UFC fan bases. And a quick disclaimer, if your favorite fighter's on here, don't get in the comments hating because unless you act like one of these annoying ass fans, then you shouldn't be offended. Alright, and we're gonna kick it off with Khabib Nurmagomedov. And honestly, the Khabib glazing has slowed down significantly ever since he retired and Islam kind of took his place. Since most of the Muslim and Dagestani guys just, follow Islam now. At Khabib's peak, like 2018, 2019, you would see these two phrases literally in every single fucking comment section. White out, go sleep, or he top like chicken, he top like chicken. Like, dude, if your post had anything to do with Conor McGregor in the slightest, even if there was some shit like Conor McGregor's fucking baby has terminal brain cancer, there's a 98% chance you have at least 3 dudes in the comment saying some variant of 29-0, go emoji, never bled, broke McGregor, made him tap, some shit like that. Speaking of 98%, only 2% of viewers are actually subscribed to the channel, so make sure you subscribe. We're on the road to 1K. Anyway, let's get back into it. And you still sometimes see that, and especially with Instagram with that little GIF shit, it'll be some post like, man, Kamaru Usman in his prime was really good, and it's that fucking Khabib gif where he points at himself and then points at the sky, basically saying like he would have whooped Kamaru Usman's ass, which I don't think Khabib would get starched by Usman or anything. He might have even won that fight. But the point is, Khabib fans literally can't accept the fact that this guy isn't perfect. Despite that 29-0 rec, there were some flaws in his game, like shitty stand-up. Every fighter has them, but you will legitimately see Khabib fans going in and saying he has some of the best boxing just because they like. And it's like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Khabib's fucking striking was decent at best. You know what I'm saying? He got carried by a good chin. And it's no hate to Khabib. I love the dude. That's just a fact. And then the other thing you'll see a lot is Khabib's the GOAT. With that one, I don't even know where the fuck to start. I don't even think Khabib's top 5 anymore. And my hot take is that Islam surpassed Khabib, especially when he fucking chokes out Dustin Poirier in the second round. And kind of their whole argument for him being the GOAT is that he's undefeated and he never bled in his dominance and all that shit. When their argument should be that Khabib is tied for the most title defenses at the hardest division, and in all of his title defenses, he finished the guys. You know what I'm saying? And then the undefeated can act as a little cherry on top. Because there are guys like fucking Ilia Topuria, for example, who are undefeated and will probably rack up a few defenses. After Ilia's second defense, does that put him on the GOAT mountain just because he's fucking undefeated? No, it'd be because he beat guys like Volkanovski and shit. And as far as the never bleed thing, I think this is so retarded. Wanna know who's never bled? Anderson Silva. That dude's been knocked out fucking like 4 times. Literally, rewatch all his fights. He never bleeds. Even in that first Chael Sonnen fight when he's whooping his ass, it's Chael's blood on him. I don't know why they're fucking so obsessed with this in a fucking blood sport. It's the man who never bled. Like, dude, I don't give a shit, bro. And it's these Khabib, like, braza type of guys that will actually, like, genuinely just start sending you fucking death threats. I don't know what the, like, I haven't gotten any on my YouTube, obviously, but it's like on TikTok comment, on Instagram, if you say some shit about Khabib, you'll probably catch one back. All right, Conor McGregor. And this works out perfect because I know half of these Khabib fans who are retarded. Again, it's not all of you. It's just the retarded ones are probably saying, oh, you're a fucking Conor McGregor fan. No. God, this fan base has just gone significantly more annoying ever since Conor left his prime. Since he came back from boxing, he's 1-2, 1-3 if you really want to be technical with that last Dustin Poirier thing, even though I think he would have won. And McGregor fans will always cope by being like, oh, that wasn't motivated Conor, that wasn't hungry Conor. And they say shit like, like hungry Conor would have beat Khabib. Hungry Conor's the best fighter of all time. And it's like, didn't hungry Conor fucking get submitted by Nate Diaz after he gassed out? Because that was 3 months after the best performance in his life against Jose Aldo. Because they'll say shit like, when he lost against Khabib, that's because he had so much money, you know what I mean? He wasn't motivated. Dude, are you fucking retarded? If you think that Conor McGregor beat Jose Aldo in 13 seconds, the face of the UFC is getting all this shit, if you think that dude wasn't but fucking rich, I don't know what to tell you, but you're just a retarded guy. And here's just the fucking truth of it. No version of Conor beats Khabib. It's a style of fucking nightmare, and Conor just gets outclassed on the ground in every fucking instance of that fight. Every fucking hypothetical, that's just how it ends up. And the thing that annoys me about McGregor is if you say like, well, I don't think he's top 20. He was a double champ, that was super cool and all that, but he didn't even defend either of his belts. Conor fans will instantly hop into some bullshit about how Conor's the most influential, and without his influence, the UFC wouldn't be as big as it is today. And it's like, that's totally true, but that has no fucking relevance on your all-time GOAT status. Like, with that same logic as Gracie, like top 5 because he won on UFC 1 and showed like, oh, you don't just gotta punch guys, you can take them to the ground, submit them. But I think my dislike for the McGregor fan base is actually peaking with this Michael Chandler fight. I'm just confused why they think Conor McGregor, who took 3 years off, is 3 years older, has done fuck all besides getting fat, getting juiced, being on all this drug, is going to beat Michael Chandler. Like, I'll tell you this right now, Conor McGregor has a better chance just waking up tomorrow and being the Prime Minister of the UK than he does to beat Michael Chandler. There's literally zero fucking reason to think he is. He's fat, he's washed, he's a druggie, and there's already some shit. Like, oh, if Conor, if Conor was serious and he wasn't on the drugs, he could beat Chandler. And it's like, well, if my grandma had a dick, she'd be my grandpa. What does that matter? Because he's doing all the drugs, and that's his choice. All right, next one we got Jon Jones. I have to say this right now, at least in my comments personally, Jon Jones is easily the most fucking glazed fighter. Like this one from my last video where I talk about Reyes' downfall, and I talk about how he beat Jon Jones. He beat Jon Jones. I'm not going to go too much in detail on it here because there's more of a breakdown in that one. He simply outstruck Jones in the first, second, and third. Therefore, he fucking won. You don't have to knock out the champ. You just have to beat them like any other fight. So we have this dude coping with Jon's loss by saying, Jones wasn't on semen retention in the Reyes fight. And I'm like, okay, that's obviously a fucking troll. And then I read the follow-up and I'm like, dude, this is OD. He's not trolling. Not speaking jokingly and be serious. I could tell by his hair texture and the way his eyes were and beard were in the standoff before the fight. His energy looked completely depleted. Hence why rounds 1 through 3, he was just bored and lacked the fighting dopamine thrive to adapt until the 4th and 5th rounds. And this is obviously an extreme example, but Jones fans will find all these ways to fucking cope. Jones ducked Reyes by going up to heavyweight because he didn't want the rematch. And now he's ducking Tom Aspinall, and Jones fans will find all the ways to fucking cope with it in the world. They'll say all this shit like, Jones doesn't need to prove himself. And I'm like, no, he doesn't need to prove himself. He's the consensus GOAT for a reason. What he does do is he needs to fight the interim champ if he's the champ, because that's how it fucking works. And if you want to have a little jack-off sesh with Stipe, you know what I mean? That's fine, but vacate your belt. Like, you might as well make it a fucking exhibition match at that point. But another thing is you're not allowed to criticize this guy's legacy at all. Like, if you say Jones's best win is DC when he was 38, while Jones was 30 and fucking on gear, you know what I mean? They shit their pants, they lose their minds. But in the same breath, they'll say that John's earned the right to retire and he doesn't have to fight all these young guys. And it's like, and it doesn't even count since John's is so much older than Aspinall. Hey, a little fun fact, Aspinall's 30 and Jones is only 36. And you might be like, wow, Jones looks like a fucking ramp on it. It's like, hey, that's what blasting PED just does. It fucking ages you. Some other valid criticisms. All of his title defenses are against older guys than him. And whenever there was a guy his size, like Santos or Reyes, he struggled with them. He did not make any of those, he did not make them look easy in the fucking slightest. But if you say these actually just logical criticisms, Jones fans will literally shit their pants, say you're deluded, say you're coping, say all this shit, and it's like, dude, I probably have Jones #1 all time. Even with him being #1 all time, are there flaws in his resume? Well, of course, everyone's going to have some flaws, but you're not allowed to say that for fucking whatever reason. All right, next one we got Israel Adesanya. One thing that I've noticed recently, especially with Alex Pereira's popularity, you can't criticize this guy without being labeled a Poatan Glazer or Alex Pereira meat rider. You just can't do it. You know, you can tell a guy, I don't think Izzy's top 15 all time. And they'll just instantly lose their mind, say you're a hater, say you're an Izzy hater. Oh, all these new guys love to fucking hate on Izzy because that's the popular opinion. It's like, maybe it's the popular opinion because it's right. Criticisms I've made of Izzy that are just completely fair. He arguably lost against Romero. He lost to Jan, obviously, and got dominated. I think, in my opinion, very clearly, he lost to Robert Whittaker in the rematch. He lost to Alex Pereira. And he lost to Sean Strickland. And so if you look at all of his title fights, that put him 6-5, which, as it feels like recently, is kind of just, win one, lose one. Or if you say against, his really convincing wins that weren't the knockouts over Costa and Whittaker. It's like this dude is fighting Kevin Gastelum and Marvin Vettori, and Gastelum somehow fucking managed to bring this dude to a war. And if Gastelum wasn't retarded, he knocks him out in the 5th round because he has him stumbling. He doesn't even know where he's at, and he shoots a takedown. And then against a guy like Marvin Vettori, who's literally just fucking awful, he sucks. Izzy has this fucking leg kick at range and to scrape by to just a boring ass decision. And the worst thing about these guys, and it's actually funny, the fans and Izzy share the same trait. Obviously with the whole Pereira thing, anytime you mention Pereira, if you just say, which is like, in my opinion, true, Pereira's all-time higher than Izzy, they'll either spam the gif of him doing the arrows when he knocked out Pereira, or just say, oh, you're just a fucking Izzy hater and a Pereira dick rider. I don't think Alex Pereira is an all-time fighter just because he beat Izzy. There's a couple of reasons. He's a 2-division champion. He's extremely dominant, top 3 on the pound-for-pound list. He's beat 5 former world champions, which is only second to Jon Jones, and did this all in like fucking 3 years. But the same bitterness goes, for example, to fucking Sean Strickland. Like, after Strickland lost, Izzy and his fans geeked the fuck out and start trolling him, being like, oh, that's such a great title reign. This was a great title reign. You know what I mean? Even though it's like, when Sean's fighting Dricus, I promise you, the last thing on his fucking mind is Izzy and his weirdo dog touching ass. Yeah, I said it because it's true. Cry me a river. Another good one is if you say, oh, Izzy's, I don't think he's that exciting, or I don't think he's that good of a striker, you will just get hit with, oh, you're casual, you just don't understand Izzy's technique, you don't understand the feints. It's too complex for you. Okay, well, he got outstruck by Sean Strickland, Alex Pereira, Robert Whittaker in the rematch, and Jan. And yes, Jan also outstruck him. He outgrappled him, and he outstruck him on the feet. So in the majority of your last 7 fights, you got outstruck. So what does that say about your striking? To me, massively overrated when guys are putting you up there with fucking Anderson Silva. All right, next one, we got Alex Pereira. And honestly, this has been a really recent phenomenon, and I hate to be that guy, but it is the fucking casuals who make this fan base insufferable. It's just because Alex Pereira is the biggest thing in MMA right now, so casuals naturally just hop on the bait. Right now, it's especially bad with Jon Jones calling for a for a fight with Alex Pereira. I've seen about a million comments that are like, Alex Pereira fucking sleeps Jon. Jon doesn't have a fucking chance. Or same with Tom Aspinall. Like, there are just fucking tons of things that say they're just going to run through him. And it's like, if we're being realistic, Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall are fucking horrible matchups for Alex Pereira. And it's like, even though he could KO him on the feet, there's also a very good chance that they get him down, and once he's down, he's going to have a hard time getting up. And that's not because he has no ground game. It's just that guys like Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall have crazy fucking grappling, especially for a higher weight class. Or if you even say, you know, Ankalaev, I think he might beat Pereira. Pereira fans will fucking geek their shit, dude. They instantly go, that's what you all said about Jamal Hill. That's what you all said about Jamal Hill. I made a whole video saying fucking Jamal Hill was going to get knocked out with the left hand by Pereira. But even then, I think he still has a very good chance, you know what I mean, to beat Magomed Ankalaev. But you're lying to yourself if you think that's going to be an easy fight. And picking against this dude is literally fucking going against gospel. And I love Alex Pereira. He's literally one of my favorite fighters. But like all these guys on the other list, I'm aware he's not a fucking superhero. I understand he's not Superman. And just like everyone, he has some flaws in his game. Does he have many? No, he's the fucking number 3 pound for pound for a reason. But yes, there are still flaws. And the other thing that is kind of getting annoying, even though I think it's really funny, and I'm the biggest Izzy hater, trust me, it isn't the 3-1, it's like the 5-1 and the 7-1. If a guy's saying, you know, Izzy's better than Pereira, you know, the 3-1's fair. I understand that, and I fucking have done that. But then these are just getting fucking out of hand, being like, well, he beat Strickland, and Strickland beat Adesanya, and he beat Jan, and Jan beat Adesanya, and he beat Jan, and Jan beat Adesanya. And Adesanya tried to go to light heavyweight and failed, and Alex did that. So it's like a fucking 80-1, 7-1. See, that's one I don't get, because there's just so many better arguments for Pereira fucking being better than Izzy. You know, obviously he's a better striker, was better in glory, better in the UFC, obviously. Much more logically sound argument. In his last 3 fights, he's beaten 3 fucking former champions. 2 of those champions never lost their belt. They had to vacate him to injury. Like, no one beat them except for Alex, which is what people should say. They shouldn't say that 7-1 shit. Because then Izzy fans get the fucking shit and say, oh, but the one who laughs the best. And they just dick ride all these Izzy quotes. Both these fan bases suck in their own ways. It's like a yin and yang. We got Fedor and Emelianenko, and this kind of just goes for Pride fighters as a whole. You know, old head unks will tell you that these guys were fucking literal superhumans. The way they talk about this guy, you'd think he'd run a 4-1 flat, had a 60-inch vert, and could bench press fucking 3,000 pounds. Because this dude gets fucking glazed like no other. Like, he beat up a bunch of fucking cans in Pride. And even the guys in Pride who weren't cans, but even his, like, quote-unquote highlights, like fucking Mark Hunt, I guess, who fought for a belt once. You know, he beat, that was fucking 20 years ago, dude. When MMA as a sport has only been around for like 40 years and shit's 20 years ago, it's like Kevin Durant going back to the fucking 1970s where dudes could barely dribble. Shit's just evolved, shit's changed, it's way harder now. So you tell a fucking Fedor fan or any Pride fan that, hey, bro, I think they were fighting cans and I think they're basically all overrated. They'll just call you casual. Like, people genuinely say that Pride was better than UFC. Like, Pride fighters are better than UFC fighters. And to that, you're just a fucking retard. Like, literally just use the eye test, bro. You know, a big stain on Fedor's legacy, in my opinion, is when this dude was like 33 and he was at Strikeforce, he went on a 3-fight fucking finish streak before he went to all these fucking like random orgs. Verdum submitted him, and then he got fucking blasted TKO'd by Silva, and then fucking Hendo slept him cold, bro. So it's like, if you're in the prime of your career and Dan Henderson's putting your lights out, like, what the fuck on earth makes you think you would fight fucking a guy like Tom Aspinall or win, or even a guy like Jon Jones? And like, this dude for a heavyweight, for a UFC heavyweight, this dude is comically undersized. He's a light heavyweight at heart. Even if it's like, well, dude, this dude was losing in his prime, but they'll always say some shit like, oh, Pride fighters literally had to fight fucking 100 times in one night. They literally had champions where a guy would fight 32 fucking times in one night. So his prime was like fucking 10 years ago, you know what I'm saying? Like 34, that's old Fedor. Because I feel like a lot of you guys don't even know. There was only 2 nights where Fedor fought more than one opponent. There was 2 occasions where he fought 2 dudes in one night. That was August 15th, 2004 and December 22nd, 2000. Is that impressive, fighting 2 dudes in one night? Yes. But that's not impressive at all, because that's the equivalent if you gave fucking Jon Jones, Shamil Gaziev, and Parter fucking Porker on the same night. Like, Johns would fucking clean him up too, and it wouldn't fucking be a big deal. Contrary to popular belief, no, Fedor wasn't fighting fucking like a ridiculous amount. And when he was fighting often, he fought against fucking cans, dude. Everyone in Pride, for the most part, was a can. But if you tell that to someone who fucking loves Pride, they'll just lose their mind and just call you casual. Like, oh, no, you guys just watch the UFC. You gotta watch Pride, man. They made them different back then. They don't make them like they used to. Video's off the top of the head, if I'm sure you guys could tell. Thank you to MMA Speak Z for the video idea. But that aside, thank you so much for watching. It's John is MMA. Comment if you have any other video ideas or if you disagree with this video.